All right, then time now for our book club. Ben,
Yes?
take it away.
I most certainly will. So the book that I picked for this week's book club is none other than Death Vigil Volume 1 by one of our favorite artists, writers, Stjepan Šejić.
By Harleen, out now.
Yeah, Harleen, apparently I heard is great, even though I haven't bought it yet because I'm poor. But yeah, Volume 1, Death Vigil. And so Brandon did talk about this. We talked about this on the show beforehand, but this was back when on the book club segment where we just picked a book and the rest of us didn't read it.
Yes.
So now
The dark days.
Yeah. Back in the long ago.
Dang, this was one of your original book clubs? Don't remember that at all.
Yeah. So we all reread it, and this book is great, and I cannot believe how awesome this book is. I always loved Šejić's art. I always loved the way he wrote stories. I fell in love with Sunstone because of Death Vigil.
Sunstone.
Yep.
Stunstone is
The book's so good.
I said Sunstone.
You said Stunstone.
There was a T.
Damn it, I meant
It's all right. You were stunned by how good it was.
Yeah.
You sound like llamas with hats. There was a T.
Carl, that kills people.
I did not know that.
Carl.
That explains all the screaming.
Yeah. That's the sound of forgiveness. Screaming, then silence.
Anyway.
And anyways,
yes, Death Vigil is one of my favorites. It's the first Stjepan Šejić book I picked up. I picked up in single issues, and the first 7 of which I have signed.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was the first issue oversized?
No.
No? It felt long.
They're all
pretty big
long.
issues.
Okay, because I definitely felt like, not that I felt the length, but I was like, this seems like longer than 20 issues
Yeah.
or 20 pages.
I felt the same, and I thought it's 8 issues long because he had some issues. We all know he had some long publishing issues. A lot of his books don't sell as well as they really honestly should. So he was never able to make a second volume of this, even though he wanted to. So a follower of ours talked about how much he liked this book and wanted to see a sequel, and asked if there was a sequel. And I pointed him to Stjepan Šejić's Patreon page, where he is hoping to develop the sequel to this and Switch and Ravine, maybe if he could get Ron Mars on board. I think.
Yeah, because at the end of obviously at the end of Death Vigil Volume 1, there's a bunch of other Top Cow books.
Yeah.
Which all of them are drawn by Stjepan Šejić, and
He's
Ravine,
a huge Top Cow guy.
And Ravine is one I actually kind of want to pick up.
Yeah, real quick. I will link that Patreon below.
Okay.
So anybody who wants to support him.
Yeah, I also follow him on Twitter, and he's been posting a lot of stuff from Death Vigil Volume 2, which makes me happy because there's a picture of Samuel there where his arms are covered in chains and has like a skull plate armor on his shoulders, and he looks freaking sweet.
Yeah. So what'd you think of it?
I like this book a lot. The art does a lot for me. I will be 100% honest. I think his writing at times is kind of amateurish. But his art is like the Cthulhu stuff in this book is like my favorite shit. Like honestly, like I've ever seen in a comic. Like specifically like I think his name's the Abyss. Like he's a giant the evil
Abyss,
dragon who has a person as a tongue.
Yeah.
And like all the imagery is the reason I kept reading this book. I think the character work's really strong. I think. I'm being critical because I really like this book, but I got to be critical because it's a comic. I think he has a Joss Whedon approach where a lot of the characters sound kind of samey, and they're all kind of jokey, except for a few.
Yeah, I want to add on to what you're saying because I do agree. He gets better.
Yeah, and this was like a 5-year-old comic, so yeah, I've definitely read stuff recently.
He is constantly improving on everything he does. But this was an older comic, and even 5 years ago, like you can tell how much like reading Harleen, it's very different.
Yeah.
However, you are absolutely correct because a lot of the times the character he has an over reliance on characters who do video games on the computer.
Yes.
MMORPGs. That's because he does the same.
He plays.
I'm cool with that one character referencing jokes, but like multiple characters do it. And
Multiple people do it.
I can't. I know you all look different, but sometimes I can't tell who is who when you guys talk.
I love it
when
when James, the RPG player, he says DPS and then the Vikings catch up.
Oh yeah, James, you ruined my zombies.
Yeah,
you ruined
like,
my Vikings.
you broke my Vikings.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're absolutely right because he's not autistic, obviously.
Yeah.
But he has social awkwardness, I guess, whatever the low end of that would be. And it comes off in his writing a lot. Like characters who aren't supposed to be like socially awkward come off that way.
Yeah.
Because that's just the way he is. I wonder what Stjepan, like both Stjepan's art and his writing improve as he goes on. And I wonder like 5-10 years from now, like how good could he get?
I mean, I could already tell, like when he was doing Aquaman and some of like the Dark Knights tie-in books, his art has always been incredible, and it's only gotten better.
Yeah.
So I can't say
his writing on Harleen.
I haven't read Harleen, but like I know it's being really well praised, so it's good that he's become a better writer. And again, it's not like it's ever bad.
No.
But the art is absolutely what carried me through this book. And there are some really good character stuff that I really like.
I love
like
the stuff.
Beowulf. Is in this book?
Oh, Wolf, yeah.
Wolf.
It took me a little bit to figure that out.
Once I got to the last part and we meet Wolf and he says his name is Beowulf, I'm like, you did.
Mia. Is it Mia?
Yes, Mia.
And
James.
And the dad who has multiple names.
Alistair.
Alistair, and he goes by
Heinrich.
Heinrich, yeah. I'm really into those guys because like that dude's like a necromancer, and his daughter is like the most powerful demon on earth. But
she's she's a primordial.
But she's totally chilling.
Yeah.
And
there's backstory, like she wasn't always like this, and she's changed over the years and things like that.
Yeah. Her and James are like the best of friends.
Maria's girl who turns out to be a primordial.
Yes.
Alicia, thank you. When she looks at Bernie and you see kind of her face like vibrating.
All that stuff is so good.
Like you see eyes behind it. It's such cool imagery, and I like that stuff a lot.
The
the Abyss, by the way, I'm with you. The Abyss is one of my favorite images in this book.
Seriously, like all the demonic and like Cthulhu drawings, it's like he draws like what I want those creatures to look like. And he draws such beautiful people.
He excels at that sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like all those necromancers, all like those humans that are like deformed with the necrotic energies or the necrotic monster properties. I'm like, this is harrowing. This is terrifying. Why?
There's the Japanese girl and the Croatian guy who they merge their powers to shoot through things and see through things.
Yeah.
That is such an awesome idea that I've never seen like in an X-Men comic.
Yeah.
So it's like those ideas are so cool, but then
the Raven who can transform into a dinosaur.
That's probably the coolest character in this book.
Yeah.
It's like an elder god Raven that turns into a T-Rex.
I freaking love
Huggin.
And also Bernadette, the Reaper.
Yeah.
I love her
She's
so
great.
much.
I like the characterization of the Reaper a lot.
Yeah. And I really like the premise, and like this could have been just like a generic Grim Reaper premise, but it's so much cooler than that. It's like they're like a little society that protects the world.
Yeah.
And all of his facial expressions are really, really nice.
Another thing he excels at.
Yeah, like again, it's just one thing that I wish the writing was better because like his facial stuff is like it's like Phil Noto good.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff that he does, I always say his characters have always been really good. He clearly has an idea of like making people feel real, making people feel like
and
they're
consistent.
real people and consistent.
Yeah.
And a lot of that comes through his art because his art is so good at expressing real emotions, real what's the word? Real just things like
They're very expressive.
Yeah, but they don't feel over exaggerated. They feel real.
Yeah. So it's like Assad Ribic is a beautiful artist, but sometimes he has like these like O faces where when people are screaming, they just look like and it looks really bad.
Yeah.
And like Stjepan never has that problem at all.
Oh yeah, there's the Abyss. I just pulled up an image of the Abyss.
Yeah, he is rad.
Gallows, is that the character name? Like the old guy who's working with him. I thought he was pretty radical and mean. Like a lot, again, like some of the character stuff I really like, but then like when there's a lot of dialogue, it just all sounds the same, like almost like Bendis does sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's my only complaint. And again, this is an older comic, so he's gotten better. But man, that art is truly stellar.
Yeah.
It's such a shame he's not more popular.
Yeah, it is a huge shame that he's not more popular. I often lament that.
There are worse artists who are way more popular. I'm like, why isn't he marketed more? I don't get it.
And it's possibly because he does tend to stick with Top Cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, he was doing Dark Knight Metal books though.
Yeah.
I bought a Suicide Squad book for him, and he sells
because he did that. He got Aquaman and then Harleen.
Sexy Aquaman.
Yeah, well,
aggressively sexy.
Yeah,
Aquaman.
luckily it was we were at a comic book store on City Walk where I saw the hardcover deluxe edition of Underworld, his book with Dan Abbott.
Yeah.
The one time which is Aquaman Rebirth Volume 4, but he only did that one arc, or he only drew for that one arc.
And it operates as a standalone arc.
Which, thank God, because that art is freaking amazing, and that's the only reason why I bought it, because of his art.
Like, I'll always lament the fact that his art isn't, he's not more popular than he really is. I think in the later issue, the final form of Bernadette.
Oh yeah, she's super spooky.
Is real cool.
Oh yeah,
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, she's really cool.
I also really like the lore that he builds.
Yeah,
like the story is really solid, and the whole thing with the Death Vigil and its past, and you see the earliest Death Vigil when we get to Alistair's flashback, and it has Beowulf, and it has what's the old lady's name?
Grace.
Like, who do you think she could be? Could she be a prominent
probably
figure from back then. Maybe that was a review for part 2. Yeah. Also, what's going on with Clara?
So apparently, that's the one thing I love I hated, and now I love about how he's finally coming out with volume 2.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, because at the end of this first arc, there's this huge, like, that she has the Dreamer sigil on her back. Clara does.
We don't know. There's also a hint that she is also a primordial.
Yeah.
Because there's one guy who's like, no, I serve faithfully to her.
Yeah.
So what could she be?
Yeah, she's now part of the Vigil, but also she's part necromancer / primordial.
But nobody knows.
Yeah, no one knows.
Yeah.
All the people who do know, like Beowulf died. That one lord died.
Yeah.
No one has seen her. Like, she keeps scratching her back. And there are times where Sam's looking over at Claire's like, is she back again? She's like, yeah, because she's using her Veil Ripper, the Starlock, to scratch her back.
The Veil Ripper is so cool.
Yeah,
all of the what are they called? Veil Ripper?
Veil Rippers.
Yeah, all of those weapons are super radical.
Yeah, and they all represent something from their lives. That was really important.
I really like Maria, the girl who's trying to orchestrate like this plan to get the scythe, but like maybe to backstab everyone and just become super powerful herself. I really like that character aspect, and I really like at the end when
if she wasn't played by a primordial, it could have happened.
Yes, and like all the hair like all the like Bernadette's hair changes back to like her natural color, and Maria gets
hair, and Maria's hair changes.
Yeah, I really like all that stuff. I definitely enjoyed the book more and more as I read along, and then the end I really, really like a lot.
Yeah.
All the action is super clear and super focused.
Like Marlene finally gets to that picture of Bernadette with she's
got a cool mask
because all the time she's
a
trying
little bit like Katana.
Yeah, okay.
Well, because every time Marlene's trying to get a picture of her when she's the Reaper, it doesn't show. Her picture is like all blurred out. So now finally she's like kind of sort of human. She's like, finally I could get a human.
Is it Clara who uses one of her portals to take the picture?
Yeah, to take the pictures.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Is it Maria's hand that's reaching out from the end of the book? That's like the cliffhanger?
It is.
That's
okay.
the
So we have Maria.
You see the muscles from the hand that was ripped off.
That's right.
Yeah, like Cedric has been posting some Death Vigil Volume 2 stuff, and we do see Maria with her arms back, full tattooed in necromancing sigils. We see Gallows back, and we have this cute scene with Bernadette and Samuel who have a thing for each other, and I love it.
When Bernadette is in her spooky mode, she has the face of a Titan from Attack on Titans.
Oh, does she?
She has like her mouth and her eyes look kind of like, I'm like, this is a good look. It's a scary look.
Cool.
Yeah.
The reveal that the little girl was actually a primordial was good.
Yeah. Where there was no little girl and the primordial just...
the guy's like, haven't you figured it out yet?
Yeah. I really, even though I found it almost a little cliche, I really liked the beginning with Clara getting killed by her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Because I thought definitely it was like a twist. I'm like, oh, okay, this book's not doing something.
I like the visions of their family that they see. Again, the imagery of like all the eye teeth.
Yeah,
things.
like Lana, like when Lana, or is it Lana or Lara? Lara. The girl who Clara saves by touching her mind.
Lara, I think.
Lara. Yeah, that one girl who she saves by not like zombifying her.
Who might be her girlfriend in the next volume.
I'm okay with that. I don't care.
She blushes.
She does. But what was I going to say? But yeah, when she's seeing her mom is like transforming into like this primordial tentacle monster. And she's like, no, it's me. And she's like, no, that's not you. You're a monster. What's going on here?
She rides a T-Rex, Clara. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, that.
Oh yeah, the full reveal of Mia as the primordial.
That's some cool shit.
A really cool image.
Yeah, Mia's
hugging the hates Edgar Allan Poe quotes.
Yeah,
because he's heard it for centuries.
Quote the Raven.
Yeah. This is again, like I think the art, it's such a shame because like the art is like top tier.
Yeah.
And I just wish the writing was there to match it because like if it was like, man, this book would be a gangbuster.
Yeah. And it's really too bad that he just in general isn't more popular.
And again, after Dark Knight's Metal, like I really thought, because like he's working with DC a lot. Yeah. And
after
like
Justice League Odyssey.
I wonder if like it's a thing where he doesn't, because his art's so good. There's no way he's not getting picked up, right?
And Harleen isn't doing well either.
It's not?
Like it's doing fine enough, but
it's like how much is it? Like $7-8?
$7-8.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
It's difficult with that. It's doing fine enough, but the problem is, Stjepan's stuff doesn't sell as well as it should. He should be one of the most sought after artists.
Yeah.
Like ever.
He should be doing covers for every. He's like again like Phil Noto. He does more covers than anyone I know.
Yeah.
Like he should be doing covers for DC left and right.
He should be doing like all of DC's variant covers.
I wonder if it's a timing thing. Like he's not fast enough.
Maybe.
because like he does do a lot of his own stuff, and he hasn't been given like a real solo series. I mean, besides Aquaman.
Yeah.
But I wonder if like he's not fast enough.
It's too bad that he couldn't continue with Justice League Odyssey, because I think that would have helped a lot.
I mean, you can. I'm okay with him not being that fast, because you can tell he puts a lot of effort and work into all these panels.
Yes, but it means he's not getting work and he's suffering for it. That's what I mean.
But I don't know if that's true, because he used to keep monthly schedules.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was writing Witchblade for years.
Well, writing and drawing.
Sorry, he was drawing.
Okay,
he was drawing Witchblade for years.
Okay, he was okay.
With Ron Mars doing that. That's how he got Ravine, which was coming out monthly, and then that got canceled. A lot of his books just get canceled for low sales. They just don't justify the sales.
I wonder if he just doesn't want to work more. I wonder
not.
if he gets asked and he's like, "Nah, I'm cool."
That's why I'm happy he's doing the Patreon, because I think that'll help him get the money he needs to continue, like, go forward with his ambitions. Because I think he's really ambitious.
Oh yeah,
but he never. It doesn't happen because his sales don't justify it. And I just think he's so good, and he deserves all the success.
I would love to see, especially more of those of the demonic Cthulhu stuff in this book.
I just love the designs of his monsters.
I'm interested to see how much better the next book will be when it finally comes out.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the day he comes back to the States for a signing, because I want to get that.
He's going to New York Comic Con next year.
Damn it!
Yeah, I was bummed too.
It's a big con.
Come to the West Coast. I know it's far.
He's come once. He came to Northridge.
Yeah, he came to Northridge.
Yeah,
all the way from Croatia.
Yep.
That was cool.
I still love when Harleen came out. A bunch of comic YouTubers couldn't barely pronounce his name, and he tweeted him laughing. He's like, laughs in Croatian.
And also, I bet it doesn't help Harleen that there's literally like 2 other Black Label Joker books out at the same time.
Came out at the same time.
And there's a Year of the Villain, John Carpenter Joker book. There's a lot of
That's
Harleen.
probably hurting him.
Yeah. I wish Harleen was announced a lot earlier.
Again, I wish it didn't come out exactly like a week after the Joker Killer
Joker Harley.
Yeah. Criminal Insanity.
Yeah. Kitty.
She's chilling.
I just don't want her to knock over your drink and spill everywhere.
Yeah. I really like this book.
I do too.
This is my first Stjepan Šejić book, like I said, and I think it still holds up, even though his writing is not as polished as it is now.
Yeah. Even I couldn't really. I don't know if it's because I'm reading this with nostalgia goggles or what, but I was reading this. I was having a blast the whole time.
Oh, it's still fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
the imagery in it, like Ryan said, is
like
amazing.
A great comic. The point of a comic, sequential art, is like you don't even need the words; you should still be able to tell a story. And he has storytelling masterfully done. It's just the actual writing part that's kind of basic.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Anything else you guys want to add, or should we call that a day?
Stjepan Šejić is great. Support him. Read Death Vigil. Read Harleen. Read all this stuff. His stuff is great.
His link, his Patreon link is in the description.
Heck
cool.
yeah.
Do that. Do the thing. If you have money, do the thing. Support an awesome person.
Yep.
But I do have, kind of piggybacking off of what we did last week when we interviewed Dylan Gray of Top Cow, is a Top Cow book. One of my favorites, Death Vigil.
Oh, God, I love this book.
This is from Stjepan Šejić, who is probably most famously, unfortunately, known for Sunstone, which is kind of a BDSM love story.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah, a little bit last week. But this is kind of what he does best. Naked women are not what he does best, unfortunately. He does magic and sorcerers, dragons, fantastical beasts, high fantasy. That's what he does best. And this is an 8-issue miniseries collected in 1 volume. Hopefully, buy it. People buy it, please, because we will get a second volume if you do. This is a gorgeous book.
Oh, yeah.
His artwork, he writes, draws, and inks.
He pretty much
letters. He does the whole book, and it's beautiful. His artwork is absolutely stunning. I wish I could show people who are listening to this. I mean, I just turned to a page of a T-Rex eating something. I don't even remember. It's been so long.
Well, the basis of Death Vigil. What's the basis of Death Vigil, Brandon? Because I've read this book, but this is your book club. But I
right.
Want
So
to take
the Death Vigil is about Death, who is a woman, Bernadette, and she has recruited these people to be the Death Vigil, and these are people who have died, and she is kind of pseudo brought back to be her soldiers in an army against the primordial evil. Yes.
There's this great joke because one of the main characters gets recruited in issue 1, and when the main character Sam, who is part of the Death Vigil, he's been part of the Vigil for 5 years or 6 years?
I think it was longer.
Yeah, he's been part of the Vigil for a while, and this new person's like, oh, cool, my hair's the same color. And then it gets dyed to white.
Yeah.
And he says, welcome to the Die When You Die Club. Like, die as in D-Y-E, and then die as in D-I-E.
Yeah,
I thought that was a funny joke.
I mean, Stjepan Šejić has a really, really unique sense of humor. But it is a humor that runs through all of his books. So if you read one, unfortunately, yeah, it's the same humor and everything.
I don't mind. I love his sense of humor.
No, I love his sense of humor too. But what really stands him out is the artwork. And get this man a DC book, for the love of God, because he has been putting out fan fiction of Harley and Joker, kind of like Harley's definitive origin story. It's fan fiction. He just did it to Doodle, and it's amazing.
He did. I remember there's a fan fiction thing with Superman and Green Lantern, where Green Lantern pulls a joke on Superman where he like materializes green rocks and Superman thinks it's kryptonite.
Yeah.
And then of course Hal's having a good time. He's like, what was this, Batman's idea? He's like, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's solid, but he's got a really great sense of humor. But like so going forward, and it's about this girl, we follow this lady who is recently deceased and recruited into the Death Vigil.
By her boyfriend of all.
By her boyfriend.
Yeah, dick
and
move guy.
It's her story going through and finding out more about the Death Vigil and kind of more of the primordial evil that they're fighting and what they're truly up against. And there's ups and there's downs and there's fantastical beasts, and each character has
the necromancers.
Each character has what's it called?
A weapon. It's called the oh god. It starts with a V too.
Is it a vigil?
No, it's
whatever, it doesn't matter.
Nope, I'm gonna find it out.
No, Ben, stop. So yeah, each one has a weapon unique to them, and truly
Veil Rippers. That's what they are.
Veil Rippers. And truly this book is unique. It is something I guarantee that you have not read before. And if you want something good, something high fantasy, something just excellent. I mean, truly, his work is excellent. I haven't read a bad piece yet, and I have gone through his back catalog and read everything he's done, including his fan fiction. Let me tell you, it's fantastic. Stjepan Šejić, he is a Croatian artist, and if you haven't read it, just please do yourself a favor. That is our recommendation this week. Death Vigil. Volume 1, because tentatively there is a Volume 2 coming. It's just we don't know when. Right now he's working on Switch, which is really good, kind of a recreation of Witchblade. Real quick, what's really great about this is that a lot of the character moments are really solid. So you see, like, there's moments where you'll see an action piece that should be a splash page, but it's not, because it's the character moments, it's the character interaction that he wants to highlight. Mm-hmm. The splash page action is in the background happening, and it's really cool. And he highlights it when it should be highlighted, but the character pieces are really what comes up the most.
Honestly, I just love how he draws the necromancers and how he draws the primordial monsters themselves. Like,
I mean, so beautiful.
These monsters, they look the same, but each one of them is different. They do look like they came out from the depths of hell itself, and it's beautiful.
There's a lot of great characters in this series, too. There's a little girl who turns into a monster.
And she is the cutest, most adorable thing ever.
And she's got a best friend.
Her character itself is amazing, and I love her dynamic with the card player. Because there's a Vigil member, and I forgot the little girl's name and the Vigil member's name, but they play online games together. They nerd out together. They play cards together.
You'll see a lot of similarities between this and like Sunstone. Mm-hmm. Online games. He plays online games all the time.
Yeah,
and so he brings that to a lot of his characters. It's hard to go more in depth because a lot of what I like about this book is the art, and I can't show the art on radio.
No.
So truly, do yourself a favor, find Death Vigil. That is our recommendation for this week. You won't be disappointed, I guarantee.
Also, honestly, my favorite character in this whole book is Bernadette.
Oh, she's fantastic. She's amazing.
Because everyone talks about the Grim Reaper, they think that's just the skull. It's the angel of death. This Reaper has a soul. She has a sense of humor, and you just fall in love with her.
She also can't take pictures.
She can't. But I just love how human she is, even though she's not human.
Yeah. It's solid stuff.